our biggest competitor.
We have no competitors.
Yeah.
We are authentic. We are escaping competition through authenticity.
So
Quote
we
by
are
Naval Ravikant.
competing with our previous authentic self. How about that?
Competing with our previous authentic self. Sure. Yes.
Competing, not comparing.
Yes.
We are getting better, not falling behind, I guess.
Competing. I mean, we're not really competing with ourselves though. I think comparing works for like comparing with yourself, your past self. Yeah.
But competing kind of has the action of like after you compare, you are still striving for better, for more progress towards the thing that you deem as success, which is
I don't know.
subjective.
There is like what competition, like it is good lah, like
It is good.
but it's healthy. You need healthy competition, right?
Yeah. And you need one that you don't over compare and you lack action. Like some things you can compare all you want, but you can't do much. And that's when you suffer.
Yeah.
Oh, you got such good looks. Or like you might be able to do certain actions, but you might not see any results here. So you have to play the long game.
I mean,
who do you compete with the most nowadays? Healthy competition wise.
I don't really know. Like
Don't really know.
Competing.
No peers, no some role model that you look up to that you want to overtake by in terms of timeline.
Not really.
Not
I
really.
think it's more just we all exist within like social hierarchies. So it's like I guess competing
Everyone
in that sense. It's very like not
basically
obvious.
the status game.
Yeah,
we are all in
I'm
this
not,
game.
Yeah, we are forced to play status games.
Unless we become monk, then there's a difference. Even then it's like you are still a relatively high status.
Depends on how you whether you like publicize it or whatever. Like,
right.
If you just go monk and leave everything behind, maybe.
Or you become a degenerate that just go on to use Oculus Rift or the the Apple Vision Pro and just
what they do? They pinch the thingy.
pinch the thingies.
I don't know what it is. I have not explored that at all.
Don't need to It's very gimmicky.
It is like technology, which is cool. I mean,
it's for the people that are interested in being an early adopter, which I think there's always pros and cons. I think for us, our mental bandwidth is better spent elsewhere now. I think technology, it's more a consumer technology. It's not really a producer technology, which now we are toying with.
Yes.
Producer equipment.
Going production, going professional.
Yeah, professionalism.
Going productive. I mean, are we productive?
I would say we are. For the execution that we have been doing. Yeah. And definitely you are very productive in the sense that
am I?
Not just the podcasting, you have other things to juggle with also. Yeah. It's not going to be an easy, but I think we are having fun so far.
Yeah, definitely. This has been fun.
Yeah, this is fun. Actually fun. Yeah.
Like shopping, talking about it.
Getting everything into getting the MVP set up. That itself is already like quite an interesting journey.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about this whole setup? We went shopping, talked a lot about what we want. Research
online, watch videos for like guides and stuff, then try to find a solution that caters to us, or we can actually adopt, that is realistic.
Because this is all self-funded. We do not have any backers.
We don't have any sugar mummies so it's all just from our pockets. But I would say spending this money onto things that we enjoy doing that has a future ROI, and in the sense that we are making an impact into the world, spread positivity. I think the ROI will be way greater than Solana or something right now. All the crypto that's booming.
I think crypto as a whole is like you have to go into it like sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
But For me and you, I think we are not in a rush.
We are not. But I do feel FOMO. Do you feel any FOMO? Okay, maybe
Definitely.
not fear, but more like you already missed out. That feeling.
I suppose you could get and go into it at any time, but is it the thing that is most important now? Because there is no better time than now. That's what they all say, like always.
But do we have the funds to consistently put in money, or is it a short-term thing and it's just out of greed? Because if I really think about it, crypto getting a lot of returns, because I used to bet, maybe not bet, I used to dollar cost average into crypto. So I had funds, but then it took a dip over the past few years. I think during 2021 and 2022 it dipped a lot. 2022 and 2023. Then this year suddenly boom. But I already cashed out. I already sold it when I broke even, when it started to climb back up. So I didn't have diamond hands, as they call it, in investing. Yeah. So I did feel a bit of like I already missed out. But now currently it's less of FOMO because I know I'm spending money on this project. And
something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, something that is fun to do and it's meaningful. Because if you get easy money, I don't think that's very good either. Your perception of how
could be good, could be bad.
Yeah, I mean it's the way you earn it, I guess. Once you already develop certain skills, then you get this extra boost of your income or whatever, then it's fine. But if you are a 20-something year old you're someone in your early 20s and you don't have the ability to earn that money yet, but you're suddenly your portfolio just goes up by like 200-300%. You'll be like, oh, this is easy. Then you get complacent.
There is this idea that like if you gain a lot of money very fast money, then you will be more likely to lose it. Like
more likely to lose it.
Because you don't know how to handle that kind of wealth.
Yeah. I guess it's like if you're not improving your skills of generating income, then your money naturally will you lose your money quicker as well, because we are all spending money on a day-to-day basis. We're all learning how to provide value, and the value exchange as a result is stored in a currency format or in money.
It is the medium through which you
Yeah.
provide exchange value.
So if you do not have any sort of value generating skills and you are suddenly inherited with all this money, you just lose it because your value actually you will keep dropping in terms of your skills, your income generating skills. That's what I think. And it's a Chris Williamson podcast. They talked about shout out to modern wisdom or worthless wisdom, but they talk about if you win the lottery of like $10 million, that would be the best and worst day of your life, because nothing else can top the feeling of suddenly having $10 million in your bank account.
Yeah.
Like even maybe the day your son is born, and even then it's like $10 million. Your son is more like, I have to take care of him now, but it's a cute baby.
That I cannot I cannot imagine.
We can't imagine.
Compare.
We can't imagine both, but I guess it could be a very good thing for you if you really need the 10 million. But I think when you suddenly inherited this amount of money, then it's too excessive.
It is about whether you not say deserve, but like are ready for that money.
Are ready for money.
Because it can be overwhelming.
And another thing is, I am not sure if this is copium, but I believe that good things that can last, that can be a legacy, needs time to build up, needs to be slow. Things that climb very high, boost up, rocket up, will always crash faster, or like
it's about sustainability.
Yeah. Like if you look at all the successful people that are still relevant for years and years, they put in the work consistently every single day, and they build it slowly. They don't just blow up. Of course, some they might be like overnight success, but it's more like the skills that they have built up over the years when they're young and stuff. Yeah. So for people that do not have the built up of the skills beforehand,
I suppose it is all about the foundation. You want
All
like
about
a
foundation,
good
yeah.
foundation to be, in anything that you do. You want a good foundation. You don't want to start off with shallow foundation like buildings. If you have a weak foundation, then even if you scale very high, it may topple. So
building foundation is important.
I think that's why when you are young, especially, I think most of our viewers will be younger, right? Like not that old, cannot categorize, but
Maybe less experience in self-growth, in that sense that we started maybe just 1 year earlier and you're currently on this journey and you're trying to learn things that help you mature. I think can be younger in terms of physical age or older, but they're all in this journey together. You just have to start and keep going. So for a younger audience, what message do you have for them?
for a younger audience, what message do I have? It's not about how. I don't think. Okay,
Maybe your younger self. What will you say to a younger Josiah sitting next to you right now?
I actually don't know what I would say.
You don't know anything?
Because if it was a younger version of me, I would just like what I say affect like I'm thinking about like the time travel aspect or whatever. Like if you were to time travel and
what if it's a clone? Like it doesn't affect you right now. It's not time traveling. Just a younger version of you. Exactly live as your childhood and stuff.
I guess I would just talk if that situation were to occur, I would just talk about how I am now. Cause I think like the juxtaposition definitely like the difference
but like how you get there or just pure comparison. Do you give him advice? Do you just inspire him what he can do, then let him figure out himself?
So I think this hypothetical is just like a bit confusing.
Confusing.
If I say, because I need like a reason to talk to past me, like so what I say affect like his if you could change anything, would it change anything?
It will change him, but it'll be him from another timeline, I guess.
From another timeline.
So it doesn't affect you.
So if I could
like,
talk to me from the past, but in another timeline.
Basically, you just have a younger version of you right here. That's all. You're not traveling anywhere. It's right here, right now. And he will live a different life from then on.
Let me think about this.
Okay.
How about you? You can answer first, I guess.
I think this is a very interesting thought experiment because if you really visualize the younger you have so much empathy for him because you kind of know where he been, where has he been, what has he been exposing, what has he been exposed to in his childhood. Like I guess the only thing is like there are certain mindsets that we definitely want to impose or like at least bring light to them so that it's stuck somewhere, like plant the seed. Like previously when I talked about friends that are resistant to change, to positive change, you have to plant the seed and just slowly water it, then let them fertilize themselves. We can't really like just obsess over the seed or grow. Please start. What's that called? What's the process?
Germination,
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just obsess over it and want it to germinate as fast as possible. You can only plant it, do what you want, water the seed, then just leave it. Yeah, give it the right condition.
Some things only just take time.
It takes time. Yeah, you can give it the best condition as possible, but depends on how much mental bandwidth are you willing to give. So same thing as your past self, you might want to give him more of a right condition. So have a real talk, ask him questions. How does he feel? So I'll ask my past self, like, how are you feeling right now? What do you want to do? And then I'll talk about my own story, my own autobiography, and maybe share a little bit on the mindset I have as I'm going through that. Yeah, I probably won't dive deep into the specifics because I think that is a very like logically it will have a lot of like what we call those when something like scientifically impossible. What's the word called?
paradoxes.
There'll be a lot of paradoxes if you want to talk about like if I go into specific whether that timeline will get affected or it won't happen or whatever, so
all these hypotheticals is like, I don't think I would, if I could go back and change my own past, I would like not change anything.
I wouldn't too.
But I also, because all advice is contextual, so like going back or talking to someone, a past version of me, are
they living in the past or current moment, although that version?
And also it depends on which version of me, like at what stage. That's why I don't like this hypothetical.
It's okay. For the viewers, we are gonna keep this in. Although it's a bit messy, but I think this is a good question to just think through.
Thought-provoking question.
Yeah, it's thought-provoking, definitely.
I think we are obsessing over the details a bit.
And it's fine. That's just us. And for you, you might not obsess over the details. You might be a big picture person and just want the person to do well, want the past you to do well. You don't care about how or why. You just want him to do well. Some people does things like that. So think about it.
Think the question I want to ask is then, so how would you describe your journey? Would you want to change anything about your journey?
Would I want to change anything about my journey?
So if you could, what do you?
I guess we all always think that whatever that happened to us happened for a reason. Because it's the concept of you are dealt with certain cards and you just have to make the full use of it.
Yeah.
So if the cards that I'm dealt with doesn't change, then I wouldn't change anything too, because I would think that it's impossible for any speed of progress. I feel like fate is valid to a reason that like you're dealt with this card, so you have like a maximum potential, or you can only, your rock bottom can only be so far down because you're already dealt with this condition. So in that sense, I wouldn't want to change my journey, because what will happen in that sense. Like if you are a person with certain genetic potential and certain family upbringing, whatever advice you give, some will click, some will miss. So I wouldn't, because I think currently I'm on the right track, so I wouldn't change anything about my journey. How about you? Will you change your journey? As a Josiah now, are you happy with your thinking, your brain, your habits, all this?
I don't think I would change anything. I feel that my life has been, well, not say perfect, but everything that I was challenged with the right things at the right time. So I guess it's all about acceptance. I've accepted everything that's happened to me. You do need time to process, especially more traumatic events, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's a process, it's a journey, but worth delving into. Yes.
That's why I think we all wouldn't want to change our past, but moving forward in the present moment, I guess both of us, our desires are to influence someone else in this moment that wants to do better, that wants the right mentality to be able to handle with traumas, to be able to process traumas, to be able to improve, to like treat situations, process information differently from a normie, let's say. Like you want to be able to look at a failure or look at when you're taking L's, to frame it in a way that it serves you. So
it always is about doing your best in the present, because you cannot change the past, right? Like
we can't change the past.
You can only work. The difference between the future and the past is that you can change the future by deciding in the moment now to
the action.
Change your action, change your reaction. Be proactive, not reactive.
When you are reactive, you just, with the cards you're dealt with, you don't make any influence with it. You don't make the best use of it. You just let your story just roll out. And that's when you're reactive and things just happen to you. You start blaming, you start losing agency. You stop having control over your decision. Although you think that, I want to do this and do that, but really, if you really dive deep, it's more like you didn't plan anything. You were probably given a choice at some point, there's like all these crossroads that you walk throughout life, that you had the chance to just, maybe I should not watch this entertaining video and go and watch another educational video, just because that educational video might compound. The information you get will compound throughout your life. It will maybe help you develop a frame that serves you. So it's just these crossroads that I call radical opportunities. You get all these opportunities to just radically change your life. So I guess what we want to do here is to provide these opportunities too. Yeah.
Life is just made up of what? Decisions, right?
Yeah.
Every day we wake up, I googled this like a while back, but it's like 70,000 decisions every day.
70,000.
Not sure how accurate it is now, but
nowadays maybe a little bit more, I would say.
There are a lot of micro things like
should I continue swipe with the next? Should I continue doom scroll? Every post you doom scroll is like, should I do it?
every second you're deciding. Yeah.
Should I avoid? Should I just let my mind take control and just let my monkey mind just grow? That is also a decision by itself.
Yeah. So there are small decisions, big decisions. For the big ones, you want to take more time, obviously.
Definitely.
But the small ones, those are the things that can affect your life a lot. Everything compounds. So if you do something, a habit, if you repeat it over and over again, like scrolling, it will compound, whether it's for the better or the worse. Yeah.
And the small ones usually are the one that easy to be overlooked. The small ones are like, should I scroll this time? So if you really think about it, it's not that small. If by scrolling, by allowing yourself to doom scroll for one time, the next time you have the higher tendency to do it, and your dopamine circuit that day will be screwed, and there'll be a compound effect. So
you're like reinforcing the neurons in your head.
Yeah.
Like
so
every action
okay.
that you do.
Yeah. So the next time round you'll want to do it more, and the consequences will just keep snowballing. So small decisions sometimes are more dangerous than big decisions, because big decisions, they prompt you, they urge you, there's an urgency for you to think about it. It's the small decisions that are the dangerous ones, and you won't change all these small decisions or how you treat these small decisions unless you develop a new perspective by watching someone, listening to someone's story, or even just having some certain failures and learning a lesson through it. That's what I think encapsulate like the concept on small decisions compound.
I think I heard this from a very old like Jordan Peterson lecture, but something that you do for even 15 minutes a day, if you add up like all the weeks, all the days, weeks, months, years, every year it's like 50 days or something. Like it's kind of crazy. Like,
And it's also the Sam Alvin's third order consequence. The 50 days will probably be a lot more in terms of the third order consequences. Like 15 minutes of TV every single day might mean that you cannot focus for another 5 minutes when you're reading. Just 5 minutes. And the 5 minute compounds also, and the 5 minute of reading becomes like, let's say 50 days of let's say 30 days of reading throughout years. And that 30 days of reading might get you so much more money, or like so much more skills or whatever. Like you get the picture.
There is the idea also that every time you get distracted, so even like a notification ping on your phone buzzes, if you're focusing on something, every notification will distract you, and you to get back to the like same concentration level as that you had previously, you take you like 27 minutes or something. 17.
Oh, that's not worth it at all.
Yeah, so if you're trying to focus, really do not disturb, or just put your phone somewhere else. I mean, I never put my phone somewhere else personally, but yeah, I just do not disturb or airplane mode.
So just now you told me you got something you want to talk about. What is it, Josiah?
I want to talk about the concept of constraints. So it's the theory of constraints.
Theory of constraints. What is that?
So at any point in time, you have a few areas of your life. So you're always facing problems. Life comes with problems, right? So you have a lot of problems, but there will be one or two problems that if you were to solve them, everything else about your life will be made easier. And that is identified as the constraint, I guess. We've all heard the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, right?
Weakest link, yeah.
Yeah. So identifying that constraint, if you identify that weakest link in your life, then your entire life can be improved, like maybe overnight. So there are a few areas of life in general. There are work or your purpose in life, I guess, your calling, what you enjoy doing. Then you have your relationships, and you also have health, fitness in general. Those are the main three that everyone has. But at any point in time, you have to reflect on your life and sort of see which one is lacking.
How do people reflect to be real with themselves? Like, what are there any tools? What is your method of reflecting, of introspection, to find out what is your biggest link?
I think it's always in periods or seasons of life. At every point, so at every point there is something I should be focusing on. It's about identifying that. So how do I identify that? When I realize that I've sort of lost focus or clarity, I'm just going around life more reactive than proactive.
How do you catch yourself that you're lost? Because some people don't think they're lost. They just think that life is just happening, and that's fine, that's normal. How do you even be conscious of the fact that you might be going around everywhere, like your life is just in shambles? Because some people just don't sense that.
I suppose it is just communication of any type. There can be reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Those are the four main types, right? So when you read something online or anywhere, open up a book, read something online, or you speak to people,
it gives you the mental space, right? When you're speaking, when you're thinking, when you're letting your ideas grow. Because maybe you have the seed that, something is wrong. But most people will just drown that voice out, that small little whisper that, you are screwing everything up now. You're on you're not on a good path. You're not on a path that you really want to take. But most people don't really have that courage to face that voice and let it get louder, then deal with it. I guess
you can talking to people is actually one of the better ways to identify. Most of the time, if you just talk,
it's a more
like
natural
this right now,
way. Yeah,
you will just start spitting out your ideas or your problems in life. And if you continue talking, that may also lead you to just figure out the solution to your problems. So talking is very good, like getting your ideas out there. You shouldn't box everything in, definitely.
And humans, we are social creatures, so we are meant to talk to people and figure out problems and solve our problems out.
Yeah.
So it's been just that now we have ways to bypass. We can talk to ourselves through journaling, through just filming yourself talking about it. There are other ways nowadays, but the easiest, the most cost-free, the most fulfilling way is still talking to someone, because you're building a connection too. You're building trust. You're being vulnerable. You are seeing the value of social link, and that will have like you said, the strengthening of certain neural pathways that makes you want to talk to more people next time. That gives you the feedback, the positive feedback. You see that the consequence of me talking to someone is less than the consequence of me just letting my life, like just bottling everything up. Yeah.
But it is like getting to that deep conversation instead of just surface level.
That requires practice and experience.
And hanging around people you are comfortable with. Definitely, that matters. So who you talk to will definitely matter.
So this leads to you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most.
Of course. Yes.
So that is really important. You might think, sometimes I do think of, so for context, I'm always the type of person, okay, my ego speaking, I'm always the type of person that will choose my friends very carefully. Like in my secondary school days, I would not hang out with people that doesn't serve me, in the sense that if I want to do well academically, I wouldn't hang out with people that are not academically inclined. It might seem as something, although I might battle myself and like, I shouldn't be this way, you should be friends with everyone. Everyone is equal. Everyone is equal. But
yeah, there are many
yeah,
meanings that everyone is equal can mean, but
but you do not need to hang out with someone that doesn't serve your purpose, because that will actually, you're taking away from your future self. You're taking away from your future family. Your actual purpose is more important than a friend that just don't want to change or don't want to be doing the same thing as you. And of course, I'm not saying same thing as in, like, if you want to start a business, he also start a business, but just general direction of life. If you are in towards the direction of growth and purpose and love, then the person is focusing on pleasure, focusing on short-term gratification, then I think it's perfectly fine to not hang out with him, even though you guys have the track record of hanging out together, of him helping you before. What are your thoughts on a friend that you might have a strong bond with, but turns out to be degenerate and is not receptive of getting help?
I wouldn't classify any friend as like degenerate, but yeah, if anyone is struggling with anything and it's been like repeated over and over again, I think I have a part to play because I obviously am friends with that person. I would give advice, be there for that person, give advice if they ask for it, which I think they obviously are asking for it, right? But if they do not act on that advice or change their ways, that is not on me anymore, because I've sort of done my part. But obviously be there for people who are in trouble. Yeah.
And to add on that, maybe try to empathize and figure out their root cause, why of why they don't want to take the advice. What is the hindrance?
Yeah, talk and ask questions.
Keep asking questions, probe.
And find a constraint, which I guess constraints.
What is the biggest thing of his life?
Identifying the problem is very important. Most of the time, if you identify just the first problem that comes up, it may be the wrong problem.
Yeah,
you're solving for what? Like nothing.
You might have just prescribed the wrong one, and you might not want to face that. And you might get a bit, maybe part of your reason of, maybe I should just leave him, might be a little bit with the frustration because you didn't prescribe the right medicine or the right advice to him.
Yeah,
maybe that might be the reason.
All advice is contextual, so you need context for all advice.
So find out the context.
You shouldn't just give out unwarranted advice. Unless it is it applies to everybody. Yeah.
So to summarize is, if you have a friend that is not taking advice, that is seeking for your help. Okay, if he's not seeking for your help, you can just do what you've already been doing and see if your actions inspire him to seek for advice. But if he's actively seeking for advice and he's not taking your advice, maybe just seek context. Ask more probing questions and actually try to understand him. Genuinely want to know what he's going through, what is his weakest thing, and then see if you can help him, or there's someone else that is more equipped to give him better advice. I think that is what we would do.
Yeah, sometimes it takes time, sometimes it takes more external feedback for them.
When you talk about constraints, I read this book called Framers.
Okay.
And they talk about constraints in the sense that in a world in our universe, a constraint is cause and effect, physics, all this.
Time.
So it actually helps you to be more creative. Without constraint, you are less creative. So constraint in this scenario is totally different from what we talked about previously. It's more of having a set of rules that you have to work around and have a solution that works. So I guess sometimes deliberately using constraints to allow you to be more resourceful, to be more creative, is important when you talk about your career, when you talk about your work, when you talk about solving problems. Yeah.
It is like, it does have to do with limits or constraints in this context. Will be more to do with order and chaos. So
Order and chaos.
everything, our entire reality sort of lies on a scale. So there is order and there's also chaos. Chaos is just everything, and then order is what sort of structures it and like keeps it.
Can you give a visualization of that? What is everything? What is chaos? Like give an example on that. And what is the thing that structure it? And what is the thing that give it structure?
I'm not sure how would I illustrate it?
Because I'm sure people would like to picture that in their mind. Because some people need to visualize the order and chaos, the things in life.
I don't know. All that really comes to mind is just yin and yang, which is
Yin and yang.
with everything you need balance. So if you have a life that's fully chaotic, you have no structure, no routine, no order, then everything will go up in flames. You will not survive. If you had no restrictions at all, you have no limits, you're just, this energy, like, unbound.
You need the equanimity of both. You need to find a balance. The state where you can do what you want and you can have rules in your life.
That's why
Order and chaos.
you are just a blob of energy in a sense. But you are bound to your physical body. If you want to visualize, I guess, you are pure energy, but you are ordered into this body. Yes.
You are your consciousness, but you have the physical you that you can influence, you can improve, you can change. Even your identity can be changed. But your consciousness or your sentience do need to influence that to happen. So maybe the order stems from your consciousness too. If you really take a step further and observe it, it's like it starts with your consciousness trying to add order into your life so that it becomes a fuller picture instead of just chaos or instead of just full order. And you don't look at the whole picture. You miss out on the beautiful thing because chaos can be quite beautiful sometimes.
Yeah.
If you allow it to be beautiful, or if you know how to appreciate it.
You do need to appreciate both order and chaos. You cannot go one or the other.
It's like an artwork. Like the best art pieces are not fully like every line is perfect. And the best artwork is also not just all over the place. Like literally you just put paint and just randomize everything. Those are not really like good artwork.
It's about controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos. Oh. Oops. Let me cut this out. Yeah, it's about controlled chaos.
Jordan Peterson has this straddling the fundamental duality of order and chaos. Like that is where meaning is to be found. The perfect balance. Yes.
Okay. I think this is a good place to end. Ordered chaos. I think we need to marinate the idea of how we can add controlled chaos into our life, because this idea is I feel like we need more time to think how we can apply this into our life, because we all know this, like a good piece of art need controlled chaos. You need to have order in this total of life, but how? What in your lifetime that you reflected on that you have to apply? You have to use your consciousness to influence it a bit more, to change it a bit, to add order to it.
Is asking the question, am I being too rigid? Am I being too authoritarian, strict with everything? Or am I being too relaxed, not having any order in my life, all over the place, disorganized? You do need to find the middle ground or find your constraint. Your
It's
weakness
like,
at any point.
I think one example I can give is like planning your day. You can plan your week ahead and stick to it just minute by minute. That's too rigid. You need to have a general direction of what you want to do throughout that week and allow things to influence your scheduling. I think that is a perfect balance. You cannot just be too rigid because life is always chaotic. And if you really want full 100% rigidity, that is when things will go wrong and you won't get the full use of everything.
Yeah, it is equipping yourself with setting up your life with enough order
and fluidity,
but also allowing yourself some room to let life be life and enjoy it all, embrace it, accept it,
have fun while doing so.
Oh yeah, I just want to mention something. I listened back on the first episode and also the pilot or introduction video, and the first thing I noticed is that how I kept using I mean to answer every question. I think it's just a defense mechanism in my speech when you ask questions, because I'm not really used to talking as much. Yeah, and answering questions. So that is
defense against what?
I guess when I get questioned, my first response verbally is, I mean, take a shot every time I said I mean last episode. It's crazy.
Is it because you have this imposter thoughts, not syndrome, but you think that I have to preface before I give an answer?
It is. Oh yeah, some other things. I guess also. I think. To me, I do feel that a lot of what I say is very personal. Everything is very personal. So it is contextual to me. So I preface it with I mean to
add the I inside.
It's like a fail-safe. It's a filler word, definitely a dead phrase that I do use. So I guess being aware of that, I will improve on this all with time. Yes, it's not a overnight sort of change, but
definitely in the 50th episode, when we look back, there will be a change because you are conscious about it.
Yes, and I'm also editing this, so I will listen back to my I means and really, by the 50th episode, I should not be saying I mean anymore. I will have coherent language and articulation. That is my promise, I guess. I'm making many promises on this podcast.
It's good. I think we all need to keep our promises and make certain promises that help us grow.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very, very good place to end. And I guess I also use just like this video, and we'll see you in the episode next week. And we hope you enjoy it and see you.
Go back and do some introspection, journaling, talk to people, read, listen. Wait, you already listened to us. That's great. Yes.
Congratulations too. All right. See you guys.
See you.
Let's go.
Okay.